bringing you our pests, unwanted guests.
Hi, this is Rob with Halt Pest Control again, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit, especially for our multifamily customers, about fleas in these apartments. A lot of times when these apartments come vacant, the people that lived there previously, of course, leave fleas. They take their cat, they move, and what they've done is they've left you a lot of fleas and a lot of damage ultimately to the carpets. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about how we can get the resident in your unit, your vacant unit that's infested with the fleas, a little bit quicker than they otherwise would. The first thing we need to know is a little bit about the biology of the flea. A flea biology can last over time. We have an adult, we have eggs, we have larvae, and we have pupa. The adults are usually associated with the dog or around the dog or feeding on the dog, and depending on the extent of the infestation in the carpets. But these fleas are also laying eggs continuously and also that are developing into these other life stages. These other life stages, particularly the pupa, are going to persist for a long, long time. So one of our strategy, number one, is to get these pupa to hatch out as quickly as we can, because they'll stay in this pupa stage anywhere from a week could be up to 6 months, depending on the vibrations, depending on if somebody's living there, the dog, and the population that was there when we left. But what we need to do is to be able to have these things hatch out and crawl across the material that we had put down. And that can take some time. That's why we always ask that you vacuum the carpets after we've made our application, because when you vacuum those carpets, what you're doing is you're forcing these eggs or these pupa to hatch out and crawl across our materials, and they will not mature into fully functioning adults. And that's where we put a growth regulator that inhibits their ability to turn into a fully functioning adult. But anyway, the majority of the population is going to be in this, and this is actually the problem with any flea treatment, is getting control of the pupa. So let's say this is apartment 101 and you've walked into a vacant unit, and of course you immediately become covered with fleas. You know and are aware that there's a flea problem here. What you're seeing is these adults that are on the surface of these carpets, and they're jumping on you as you're going by. But what you're not seeing is all the eggs and all the larvae and all the pupa that are in the nap of this carpet, and in some cases underneath this carpet. And it's our job to be able to make a sufficient application with our materials to penetrate all this nap of the carpet. Now, if you have to pull that carpet, what you're doing is you're knocking all these eggs, pupa, and larvae off onto the ground, and also they're going to be along the edges of the baseboard. That they particularly like that also. So, in order to again make it quicker for you to turn that unit, if you're pulling those carpets, please take a shop vac and vacuum along all the baseboards between the tack strip and the baseboard. That's where there's a lot of them are usually at, and also underneath, because when you vacuum up or vacuuming up all that dirt and dust and stuff, you're taking away probably about 80% of that flea population, and particularly the pupal stages of that flea. Again, those are the ones that we want to really concentrate on, because that's where the majority of the population is going to be. So again, if you're going to remove the carpet, have us come and make an application on the bare underlayment. Put your new carpet down, and then have us make another application with the residual that stays on the top of those carpets, and that won't allow the existing infestation to get out of control. The other scenario is if you have a vacant unit and you're not going to replace the carpets. Please have the carpets cleaned before we get there. Two reasons. Number one, the carpet cleaners are going to remove a lot of that infestation. Number two, it allows or prepares the carpets and the carpet nap for our material, and it will stay and soak into the carpets better than it would otherwise. So that will also help expedite getting somebody in there. Number three, unfortunately, you're going to need to vacuum. because when you vacuum, you're causing the vibration necessary to make that pupal stage hatch. When that pupal stage hatches, it'll come in contact with our material, and it won't make it to a fully functioning adult. But if you're not going to vacuum, what's going to happen is they will just stay there, and the infestation will last prolonged amount of time, which we don't want. So anyway, that will help you expedite or be able to turn these units faster. Again, number one, get the carpets cleaned. Number two, have us make an application. Number three, follow up with vacuuming. We also have, after our flea jobs, we'll leave a little bit of information. We always do about fleas and what the resident can expect or what you can expect to happen over time. But in most cases, the fleas go away pretty quickly. And those are just a few hints to help you get through that biology of that life cycle, that flea, and to be able to turn those units. Anyway, thank you. This is Rob, Halt Pest Control.
Are bugs bugging you? Are pests unwanted guests? Bring your pest problems to a halt.